Smart Culture, Mathematics.
To factorize a trinomial, especially one that is a quadratic, like ax squared plus bx plus c, you're basically looking for two numbers that work together in two ways. They need to add up to b, the middle number, and they need to multiply together to get c, the last number. Imagine you have a box that is split into two compartments. You need to find two things that fit perfectly into these compartments. The first thing they need to do is stand side by side to match the width of the box, which is like adding up to b. The second thing they need to do is stack up on top of each other to match the height of the box, which is like multiplying to get c. So once you find those two numbers, you put them into two sets of parentheses like this: x plus number 1, x plus number 2. These parentheses are like the two compartments of the box, and the x is like a standard size block that goes in each compartment with the numbers you found filling in the rest of the space. So finding the factors is like solving a little puzzle to find the two numbers that fit just right. Let's take a look at this example. We have to factorize the following quadratic expression. You'll see that it's a trinomial: x squared plus 5x plus 6. So what we'll do is we'll list all the factors of the constant term, which is 6, to determine which pair of factors can be used to rewrite the middle term, which has a coefficient of 5. So here are the factors of 6. 1 times 6 is equal to 6, and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Now, these factors are pairs of numbers that multiply to give you 6. Now we need to find which pair of these factors will also add up to the coefficient of the x term, which is 5. So looking at the pairs of numbers, 1 plus 6 is equal to 7. So this pair does not add up to 5, so it's not the correct pair. What about 2 plus 3? This equals 5. So this pair adds up to 5. So it is the correct pair. Now that we have found the correct pair of factors, we can use them to factor the quadratic expression. So x squared plus 5x plus 6 can be written as x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3, since x plus 2 and x plus 3 will multiply to give the original quadratic expression. And the outer and inner products of these binomials add to give the middle term 5x. Here we have another example question. We have a trinomial that we have to factorize: x squared minus x minus 6. So what we have to do is we have to find two numbers that multiply to -6 and add up to -1. -6 is the last term, it's the constant, and -1 is the coefficient of the middle term. So what we'll do first is we'll list the factors of -6. So since the number is negative, we are looking for one positive factor and one negative factor, because a positive number multiplied by a negative number gives a negative product. So the factor pairs of 6 are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Considering the negative sign, the pairs would be -1 times 6 and 1 times -6, and -2 times 3 and 2 times -3. Now we have to find the pair that adds up to 1. So now we check which pair of factors also adds up to -1. Now let's see, -1 plus 6 is equal to 5, so this is not the pair that we want. 1 plus -6 is equal to -5. This is not the answer that we want. We want it to add up to -1. Let's try -2 and 3. It adds up to 1, so it's not the right one. What about 2 and -3? This adds up to -1, so this pair works because it adds up to -1. The next thing that we'll do is we'll write the trinomials as a factored form. So we use the pair that adds up to -1 to write the factored form. So it will be x plus 2 and x minus 3. So x squared minus x minus 6 can be factored as x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 3. So here we have two binomials. Here we have another example. We have to factorize this trinomial, 2x squared plus 10x plus 12. So what we have to do first is we have to identify the greatest common factor in all three terms. In this case, the greatest common factor is 2. So then we'll extract the greatest common factor. We will take out the 2. Let's see what remains inside the parentheses. It will be x squared plus 5x plus 6. This is a trinomial that we looked at earlier. So now we factor the trinomial. So we look for two numbers that multiply to get to the constant term, which is 6, and add up to the coefficient of the x term, which is 5. So the factors of 6 are 1 and 6, or 2 and 3. And between these, 2 and 3 add up to 5. So using 2 and 3, the trinomial can be factored as x plus 2 and x plus 3. Now don't forget the 2 that we factored out in the beginning. So the final factored form of the quadratic expression will be 2 multiplied by the binomials x plus 2 and x plus 3.
And that's a wrap on today's fascinating journey through the world of knowledge. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of curious minds. We can't wait to embark on new educational adventures together.